Did you hit cam 1? Yeah. Oh shit, cam 1 isn't fucking plugged in.
Oh, that was good.
Because I never got it. And they can hear every bit of what we're talking about. Alrighty.
Uh-oh. You're still not up.
Yeah, it takes a second. You gotta reapply cam 1. In fact, you might have to actually hit stop streaming and start streaming again.
So.
Image up.
Okay.
Hello, welcome to Rifftalk. I'm Edward T. So, we're going to start the show a little bit differently today than we usually do because he's not as well versed in the news as me or my fellow co-hosts usually are. But we're going to start off the day. We're going to talk about a story that happened down in some foreign country. Or actually it was over in California. So anyway, over in California there was a wedding going on. They were getting some photos and stuff. So this couple, newly wedded couple, goes out into the nude.
Goes out in the nude.
There you go. Goes out into the woods to take these photos. And there's actually a black metal band actually like doing a video shoot out there. That's what I believe it was. But anyway, so they take a bunch of cool pictures and shit. You can find that on Metal Injection if you want. I mean, it's pretty. Yeah.
Pretty there.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on to more musical, actual specific news. Tim Ripper Owens Bar finally shut down a few months back. It was already struggling financially, from what I've heard, and it apparently was having a very course time, like, you know, between management. He couldn't find anybody he really trusted to run it, and him and his partner didn't really have time to run it themselves. So sadly, rest in peace, Ripper's Rock House, even though I think it might have actually changed names before that. So in other news moving forward again though, pretty much Guns N' Roses has bought a jet or a plane similar to the vein of Iron Maiden's Ed Force One, which is kind of cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, you know, because they're doing a
giant plane.
Yeah, I know, right? But they're doing a starting their South America tour, I believe, this coming Friday. If you happen to live in South America and want to see Guns N' Roses, but I guess they purchased it for that purpose. Another good Guns N' Roses news, pretty much. Slash is used to back in the day play BC Rich Warlock. Like some of his very first shows with Guns N' Roses and his audition for Poison. And anyway, his old road tech, I guess, picked it up and had Slash authenticate it, say, hey, I used to actually own, play this and whatever. Mm-hmm. So anyway, he's putting it on, put it online for an auction, and he started at $30,000, and they're currently estimating it'll go up to about $85,000, which is kind of pretty insane for a fucking BC Rich Warlock. Mm-hmm. Even it was played by Slash. Did you buy it?
If I had the money, then sure.
Oh, well, there you go.
But hold on, back up to the plane. Like, they just now bought a super jet. Like, you'd think they would have already had that.
You think they would have, but I guess they weren't really doing a lot of out of. You know, I think it's just for.
They were keeping it in North America, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they were doing it for publicity. I don't know. It's kind of an interesting thing. And then moving on here, we got basically, for people who don't know, everybody knows that Van Halen reunited, like, I don't know, what was that, like 2 years ago?
Sure.
Yeah, he's like, he wouldn't know.
All right.
But they reunited a couple years ago, but it wasn't a full-fledged reunion. They had, what's his name's son, Eddie Van Halen's son, no, not Alex, what is it? Wolfgang.
Wolfgang Van Halen.
Yeah. You like that? Yeah, it's kind of more of a play on because of Amadeus Wolfgang Mozart.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, so Michael Anthony didn't rejoin. They had his son do it. Well, apparently, recently Michael Anthony's actually finally talked to the other members of the band for the first time since like 2007, I think, something like that. But basically, almost 10 years. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing set in stone or anything specific, but it is interesting to see that they're finally talking. Although Anthony actually said that he would be interested in a Sammy Hagar reunion with
Sammy Hagar is cool.
Yeah, doing that era of Van Halen. But moving on from that is Kix is releasing a documentary, or they want to release a documentary. I'm not sure what it was, but they have a new record coming out That's basically a soundtrack for the said documentary called Can't Stop the Show, The Return of Kix. And it's actually interesting because if Andy didn't know who Kix was, you sure as fuck didn't know who Kix was.
Yeah. I know Kix the cereal.
Yeah, there you go. Well, no, because I get a text after I tell him about that, and he's like, what's Kix? Doesn't say who's Kix. What's Kix?
See, I read that. I read it Kiks, that social media app.
Yeah, there you go. See what's wrong with this generation. Anyway, but yeah, so I guess they're doing a documentary, which is cool because I think they're doing a documentary now. Let me think. Queensryche, we talked about a couple episodes. They're wanting to do one. Obviously, there was Anvil. Thor did one. And I believe, and I could be wrong on this, I want to say it was, shit, my brain's gone derped on me, but there was another band that was doing it. But pretty much all the bands, Queensryche, yeah, I think I already said Queen. All these bands are pretty much getting on a documentary train because it, like, you know, grows interest in their brand.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh, I remember that band. Oh, this is the story of their life. Oh, they had a struggling career. Oh, I'm going to go and fucking see them live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good marketing ploy. Should totally do a documentary about my band. Anyway, moving on again. Queen recently released a heavy, they label it as a heavier version of We Will Rock You, but what it is, it's actually a demo recording from when they did these BBC live sessions, I guess back in like 80 something. I couldn't tell you the exact year. And it's a far heavier version. Like it's like got a real fast paced, you know, all really good guitar, you know, like heavy guitar, I should say. It is heavier, okay. but yeah. But to give you an example, it's not the. It's like got like, you know, like, yeah, it's actually got like a real cool guitar riff. And I recommend everybody go type it in. I'm sure at this point, if you type it in, you can find it. Just type in Queen, We Will Rock You, heavy version. But on that note, though, it's being released, though, to advertise that they're coming out with a new full discography release, which is going to include all their BBC recording sessions and all their demos and stuff from all the records.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that from the Fox.
Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. But this is just like, that's why they released this version, just to show, hey, there's all kinds of stuff you've never heard from Queen, you know. Mm-hmm. So that's cool. And then moving on, I can't pronounce this word. Sao Paulo? Yeah, Sao Paulo. I don't know. Sebastian Bach was on tour, and supposedly, I guess he brings his mother with him to shows, like a 70-year-old mother. And, you know, because if you've ever seen the places he tours, it's kind of like a small kind of bar venue. So there's not a lot of space, no special place where it's. So she sits down. Well, apparently some moshers or whatever were fucking around and doing their thing. And apparently knock in to his.
Apparently, no.
Yeah, I say apparently because this is what he, like the whole.
Not alleged, but apparent.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically though, yeah, so he got pissed off, calls him out in the crowd in the middle of some song. I want to say it was probably The Youth Gone Wild or something. But basically, and kicks this guy out for hitting his mother. Not that he meant to hit his mother, you know how rock shows are. Everybody's jumping around, da-da-da-da-da, being a complete jackfuck. But yeah, so anyway, so that's the news. So that's Sebastian's side of the story. I guess go look YouTube up to go see the other guy's side of the story. But anyway, into the Iron Maiden news, since there's a little bit of it. Starting off, I guess, Steve Harris has made a comment saying that he doesn't approve of bands that make smaller bands actually pay money to be on their billing. Like, you know, when you see an opening act. Like, what's a show you've seen recently? I know you...
Toby Keith.
Okay, I don't know shit about Toby Keith here. We're going in the wrong direction. Okay, but who opened up for him? Did he have an opening act?
He had Chris Jansen and Eli Young band.
Okay, well, there you go. I don't know who those people are, but there's a good chance that he made them pay an extra percentage to be on that bill with him.
Okay, yeah.
And I mean, some band, I don't know how common a practice that is, but there's some bands that's like, oh, I have a big name, so anybody who wants to come along with me is going to give me an extra percentage or pay me outright. And Steve Harris says he does not believe that is a good practice at all, and he will never make somebody, like, wants to open up for Maiden, pay to do so.
So he wants to kind of, like...
Well, he wants to help local. Here's the idea. When you're a band the size of Maiden or, I guess, Toby Keith, you're supposed to help out the small band.
Big brother, little brother.
Yeah, you're supposed to say, hey, come on our tour with us. We'll get you some exposure, you know. Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's not like that, apparently, in a lot of the music world. Apparently, it's all greed and corporate capitalism and bullshit like that. But, you know, for what it's worth, for what it's actually worth, though, pretty much, that's what he was saying, and I feel that's good business practice. I don't think you should make smaller bands pay.
Right.
So, anyway, in other Iron Maiden news, they're actually releasing a
Lolly.
Lolly, there
Good
you
stuff.
go. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, lullaby renditions of all their Iron Maiden classics like The Trooper and Hallowed Be Thy Name. And an honest opinion, a lot of people think it's just like they're releasing this as a kind of get people back interest for their second leg of their Book of Souls tour. My bad. And I think that might be a part of it. But in fair, I've listened to the Iron Maiden piano tribute, which is just great, like great shit. And if it's of anything similar to that, I'm actually very interested to hear this. So yeah. Now moving on, you might get a kick out of this. Dave Mustaine of Megadeth is doing a Christmas acoustic show at the Boston Hard Rock Cafe on December 16th.
Nice.
And he's going to do a mix of Christmas songs and Megadeth songs.
Kind of like Sabotage turned into TSO.
Yeah, kind of like the Trans-Siberian Orchestra or something. But this is more small. It's just him with an acoustic or whatever. Right. I'm sure he might have a couple people like that. But it's just an interesting thing to see him doing that. I didn't get a lot of information out of it other than just that he was doing it and where you could do it. But I really am very fascinated to hear what that's going to sound like. I'm probably not going to go to Boston to see it, but obviously there'll be YouTube videos, or he might even be filming it himself.
Right.
So I look interested. I'm very interested in seeing that.
Do Hard Rock Cafes, do they have musical venues, or is that only select ones?
I think it's select ones. I've been to a couple of them where they have like a little stage, and sometimes they'll bring like if a band wants to like example like push their album or yeah.
Because the only one we were at when we were at Niagara Falls, I don't really remember much of that one.
Oh,
I was like 6.
Right. I've been to a couple of them, and I know the one in was that Orlando? I think it was Orlando. It has a stage, and I'm assuming bigger places like probably the Vegas one and shit probably does too.
Probably.
But anyway, so to keep this rolling though, pretty much, the next bit of news is about Metallica.
Metallica!
Nah, that's cool. Nah, nothing wrong with that. I'm just joking around here. But basically, yeah, so they're releasing their next single, which is entitled Atlas, Rise, ! So it's Atlas Rise. But they're releasing it on Halloween. Apparently they're doing some kind of thing where you'll be able to hear it first streamed in record stores. I guess they're trying to revitalize that market, let people know that you can still go to a record store and hear new music.
Sweet.
So there's that. And this is a good time to pin my thing though. And my thing being pretty much is that this coming Saturday, I believe it's the 29th. Is it the 29th? Waiting. Yeah, 29th. My band, Riffman and Steel, are releasing a music video for a single called Steel Vampire. Figured appropriate. We can't release it on. We wanted to do like a Saturday kind of Halloween. I know because since this week or this year, I should say, Halloween's going to be on a Monday, so we figured Saturday night, perfect night. Right. So we're doing something similar to Metallica, only we're doing it on the internet, and you can catch it here.
Yeah. And
I don't know if he'll be here, but Andy will hopefully be here, and we'll have a special guest. I'll let you figure that out.
Who is it?
It's the legendary Tim Steele. It's gonna be interesting night. We're gonna get an interview. Gonna have our drummer. Gonna have a fun night. Hopefully, we'll actually like maybe do some games or something afterwards. Kind of like how we did our pool thing a couple weeks ago. But either way, though, so don't want to miss it. It's gonna be an hour-long Rifftalk special, Halloween special. And yeah, so then the next bit of news here, still pertaining to Metallica, is Lars Ulrich. In case anybody, especially you, do you know who Lou Reed is?
I've heard you guys talk about him.
Okay, so he died. I don't know, a couple years back, probably 2013. I'm gonna say 2013.
Lou Reed's dead.
Yeah. Well, anyway, but his last actual musical venture was with Metallica in a record called Lulu.
I didn't know he died.
There you go. But no, in all seriousness though, yeah, so his last musical venture was with Metallica, and it was a record called Lulu. And I'm going to be straight with you. I didn't like it. I didn't care for it. It was fucking repetitive. It's stupid. It was not well written. Not good for a Lou Reed record, not good for a Metallica record. But for some reason, Lars Ulrich, ever since he's been asked about...
an argument on it. Metallica takes a fifth on that one.
Yeah, well...
Metallica says they just did it for fun, and they weren't really calling it a Metallica record. Well, it was a Lou Reed record.
Well, it was a Lou Reed record, but what I'm getting at, though, is that supposedly Metallica, or I'm not Metallica themselves as a brand, but Lars says he liked the record, and he says the only thing he'd change about it is that he wishes Lou Reed was still alive. But in fairness...
Well, they always take the fifth on it.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want to talk about that either. But Lars seems to always to kind of be on the side of defending it when it gets brought up in interviews.
Right.
So anyway, but that's cool. So our next segment we're going to do pretty much here. I'm good. So recently I bought a guitar at Guitar Center. I drove up Dayton, pick it up. Had a good deal online or whatever. Mm-hmm. I should say that it wasn't a good deal online. Let me do some mathematics here for you. Usually this ain't my thing, but I'll go ahead and throw out the mathematics here. It's $129.99. So $119.99. So it's $120. To ship it to your house is another $20. I live so close to Dayton, it's worth the drive up there to pick it up. But what's weird is I was convinced in my mind if for some reason you could go to Guitar Center and say, hey, can you pull this guitar from another store here? And because it's A, within 100 miles, and B, it's Guitar Center to Guitar Center, that they would be able to,
right,
for free. No, fuck that. No, they want another $20, making the whole total like $160 for a guitar they're selling for $120. And I was like, fuck all that shit. So I drove up to Dayton and picked it up. And it was a pretty good guitar. I mean, literally, for $120, it's usually about $229, I think. And it was half off. It had like a chip in the headstock. I'm going to actually release a review that's going to actually go on our Halloween special about the guitar and stuff. But to give you an example, though, when I got up there, though, I pretty much talked to the guy, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm at, whatever. I mean, I just kind of walked in, grabbed the guitar, came up to the guy, and I pretty much did it more like this. I was like, hey, I'm really interested in this. What's the best price you can do for me? And the guy just kind of gave me a blank stare like this. Was like, it's too new, or rephrase that, it's too new in the stock, meaning they've only had it for about a week, for us to lower anything on it, I'm sorry, or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, I drove this far, so I bought it anyway. And then the guy comes over and puts on the sales speech, as it were, and he's like, oh, well, by the way, if you're going to buy anything used, you should totally get our 1-year coverage for 35 whatever bucks. And I'm like, oh, man, I'm sorry, because I literally had cash on me, I only have this much. And you know what the motherfucker did? He knocked $35 fucking off that guitar to add on that fucking warranty. Wouldn't go down $20 for me just so I could buy it and save a little bit of money. No, see, Guitar Center makes some kind of fucking promise that's saying we're for the players. No, they're for their fucking pocketbooks, and they fucking force their employees to fucking give out those warranties.
I don't doubt it, because when I worked at Kmart, they shoved it, I wouldn't say shoved it down our throats, but they kind of preached to us that we needed to try to get people to sign up for the rewards card or even a Sears credit card.
I mean, I get it a little bit, but my only thought process is, you'll knock $35 off for that, but you won't help a guy out.
Right. No,
I mean, that to me, or at least made it worth my, you know what I mean? But no. So anyway, I got a warranty on my guitar for the same price as if I didn't, but it just feels like the part of it seemed kind of backhanded is, oh no, I can't move down any on this price. Firm as fuck on that. But if it means, because I guess they get their commission off that or something.
Yeah.
And that's fine, I get it. But at the same time, it's called don't sit there and their sign in the inside says for the players, for the musician. No, fuck that. It's all about their fucking pocketbooks.
Ass Slash.
Yeah, he fucking stole the fucking goddamn thing back in the day.
Yeah.
But he's a Guitar Center.
Yeah,
he
is. But the funny thing is, he stole his first ever guitar from a Guitar Center.
Really?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I've heard. Well, and also, oddly enough, it turned out to be a Chinese knockoff. There you go. Think about that. Even if Slash had bought that guitar, that Les Paul, back in the day, it was a fucking Chinese knockoff.
Alrighty then.
You think...
Is your fact straight on that?
I'm pretty damn sure, because they always said he played a Chinese knockoff.
So the only reason that guitar is worth anything
is because Slash played it, yeah. He supposedly still owns it. They made a... I guess Gibson does a thing where they they take a model of a guitar that's a famous player owned, and they take it from him for about a month. They do what they call forensic fretwork, and they literally replicate that guitar to a T. Every little scratch on it, same pickups. You know what I mean? Even if there's a loose knob, they make sure the knob's loose, and then they replicate that handmade USA, and they sell it for $7,000.
Damn.
Is what they call tribute to players or player tributes or something.
Rip-off.
That's what I'm thinking. They justify, it's based off of the guitar that Slash played that might have also not even been in a real Gibson. But I don't know.
Well, don't forget to plug the new studio you're recording from now.
Oh, yeah, I did earlier. Yeah,
It's Ollie X.
Yeah, we're in the X Lolly X studio. It says B, but I think this is actually C because we've moved. But yeah, for real though. Yeah, this is the new studio. We did our video here. Actually, you can kind of see the skull guy here. Say hi. Yeah, but no, yeah. So this is where we're gonna start filming the show and shit. A little bit better production quality. You're probably noticing the sound is amazing. Video, couple hiccups still. Like I said, hopefully when Andy gets back from his little leave, or Brian Damage as he likes to be called, we'll get better. We try. But anyway, here, we're probably moving into our last about 10 minutes. Yeah, 9 minutes, just double checking there. I wanted to close this out here, this episode, with a concept that we want to start implementing, which is discussions or debates. And this week's topic I wanted to do is that everybody may or may not know, Brian Johnson, for like, what would you say, about half a year now?
Yeah.
Something
Since
like
the first of the year, February, March.
Yeah, so about maybe half a year at this point, maybe a little bit more. He's not in AC/DC. He had some hearing problems. His doctor told him he should quit. So he pretty much
Got a cool race car show though.
Yeah, he's got a what's that called?
Rockin' Cars. With
Yeah, my
Brian
dad
Johnson
was
or
telling me
something
about
like
that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so anyway, so he's doing that or whatever. So I don't think he has a real desire to come back, but the debate's always there. Now that they say his hearing, he's got some robot ears or something now. They say he's gotten better. And the debate's been kind of brewing that should he come back?
Well, he says he's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently, like I just said, my dad, he watched that race car show or whatever that he has now. And supposedly Brian Johnson said that once the rest of the band kind of learned that he couldn't really play because of his hearing, they kind of just sent him all his stuff and didn't really talk to him.
Yeah, they really showed him the door, literally. Which, hey, but now, another fact that people may or may not know is that Axl Rose finished that tour for him.
Yeah, I
Still
knew that.
on it.
Or, okay, I didn't know there were still dates left. I wasn't.
Well, it's almost over.
Okay, so he's...
Maybe by as of now.
So Axl's been filling in, which some would say is a match made in heaven. Other fuck that shit and bring me back Brian Johnson or resurrect Bon Scott from the dead. But here's the discussion for the day. If offered the position back, should Brian Johnson come back? Or, I feel like this is the better one, or should they just call it quits? Like a band that old and somewhat repetitive in modern era, should they just, maybe it's just time after this tour, this record, just for Angus to just call it quits? Because there's not really a singular original fucking member in the band.
Well, you know what Angus said?
What did he say?
Angus said he don't know what the hell he wants to do.
Yeah, I don't think
He
he
said
would.
after he finishes these dates that he's not sure where it's going from here.
But the interesting thought that came to me, I would love to hear an AC/DC record with Axl on it.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
It'd be kind of just I'm
A
not.
lot of people hate that idea too.
But it would just be something different. It would be the most different that AC/DC has been since Back in Black. You know what I mean? It'd be the most left field. And I would appreciate that move myself.
I would.
Not just me though. I don't know. But,
I'd like to hear a new Guns N' Roses record.
yeah,
That too.
Yeah, I've been waiting.
Slash and Duff
Axl.
and Adler.
Oh, and is Adler?
And Izzy.
Is Adler even technically able to play?
He's played a few shows.
Yeah. Okay.
He had back surgery.
Oh, okay.
And he's still recovering. Is the reason he only did limited dates.
Oh, okay. Well, because I'm with you. Here's the thing. Everybody going back to the Chinese democracy era, for anybody out there that doesn't know, it's it took, 15 years? Something. Feels like
From 1994
to, 2007.
Was it, I know, it was 94. Yeah, 94, I believe.
Yeah, so 90.
Spaghetti Incident.
Yeah.
Spaghetti Incident?
Yeah.
And then they did that one single.
That was him, right?
The one, Sympathy for the Devil.
Yeah.
They did that, and then that was the last thing they did as a band.
Yeah, so basically, though, I guess maybe it's not 15 years. I guess that's about 13. Point is, it took 13 years. But in the process of that, at one point or another, Axl made a comment saying something to the effect of that he has enough material to release 2 more records.
Yeah, but he wants to start it from scratch.
And that's what worried me. Do you guys really want to wait another 13 records for
Well, with Slash
or
and
13
Duff,
years?
They should be able to burn a record out.
I would hope so.
Because look how quick Slash puts them out with Miles.
Yeah, that is true. He's like very proficient. So, and actually, final word of note here, since we're on that discussion. Apparently, Slash is finally taking the Slash name off of Miles and what's it called?
The Conspirators.
So they're actually just going to be called the Conspirators.
See, that was supposed to happen a year ago, or a couple years ago, and it's still calling it Slash and the Conspirators.
Yeah.
But at some point, Slash says it's going to become just the
Conspirators, right. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we're out pretty much out.
They already have another record in the works. But when the Guns N' Roses thing came up, the Slash had said that they put it all on hold. But they got a whole record's worth of material waiting to come out as soon as he breaks from Guns N' Roses.
Okay, well, that's good. So there you go. You heard it here first, or probably 15th.
Well, that's just what I hear in the hearsay.
Yeah.
On listening to all my talk shows to learn how to teach you guys how to do this right.
Yeah, you hear that right. We're going to eventually get this right. But, well, that's probably a good time to call it a day. We're out of topics to talk about. And
you got exactly 5 minutes left.
Oh.
You can plug some new stuff.
Uh,
Plug a new record. What's your favorite new record? For the year. Record of the year. We're getting close to that. We should have a vote on this and bring the best 10 records of the year.
Actually,
at the end of the year.
Yeah, that'd be a good top 10.
A good thing to start here. But right now, what's a nominee? Let's nominate one we can all agree on.
I'm leaning towards the heavier side. Thought Ghoul's new record was actually pretty badass. It's called Dungeon Bastards.
Sure, let's go with that.
I had to give us a little more research because I ain't really heard a good record this year.
In fairness, I mean, I've heard a couple okay ones. Nothing like mind-blowing. Last year was a way better year for new records.
Yeah, a couple years ago was really good.
I mean, because last year you got, well, no, okay, maybe it wasn't in the same year, but I mean, like 2014 you got new Priest, 2015 you got new Maiden.
Well, if you're getting into the softer side of things, Tesla has a pretty badass new record from this year. But that's my likings.
Oh, and Grim Reaper, we tried to plug it.
Yeah, Grim Reaper, I'm not sure it would make the top 10, but we'd have to see. I'd have to listen to a few.
Yeah, I don't know. I listened to the whole album after, but when we did our show last week, I'd only heard 6 tracks. I ended up listening to all of them, and it's a pretty good album.
What about you?
What's something new you heard? And
I have no idea.
Did you hear Nickelback's new album that doesn't exist?
The last Nickelback album was
like 20 years ago. I know.
2014.
Yeah.
But it was decent. I mean, their last couple albums were definitely a lot better.
There you go.
Nickelback has more potential than what they put out.
Yeah, there you go. So
Nickelback's a good live band.
They are.
They are them live, and they're much better than what they put on a record. It seems like they're trying to write top 10 records and not go to the soul.
Right.
Yeah, that's what Money will do.
But they are a good live band. I saw them once, and I really wanted to see them again.
They plug a lot of your favorite heroes, Timmy.
Yeah, I've been told
Edward.
that. Yeah. Oh, you can call me whatever.
Well, Edward Timothy Riffman.
Yep. That is my name.
But
don't forget it. It's on the sign.
Know.
It's on the sign.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's in the shop, but if it is, my name's on the sign.
Yeah, we need to get put this studio back to normal before they throw us out.
Yeah, it's not a fucking atrocity. But oh well, for right now.
I think that should be the next, for the end of the year, we come up with our top 10 list.
Yeah, you heard it here first. We're going to do a top 10 list, and it's going to be
lots of places do it,
badass.
but we're going to do ours.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Why the fuck did I never think of this?
I just thought of it.
What the fuck's your... See, this is why he's a cameraman. He's not an idea man.
I don't know anything.
I'm talking
I'm
to...
the guy in the background.
I'm talking about him. His name's Dave the cameraman.
Yeah.
Because he filmed our pilot.
And that's about all the camera work that I've done.
Yep. It's a good nickname, though.
It is. I like it.
But anyway, like I said, though, I feel like we got to be close here. Like I said, this was a light episode because, like I said, Andy or Brian...
You got a minute and 30 seconds.
Okay.
Plug something.
Oh, something to listen to. Fuck Guitar Center. I'm tired of the corporate...
Tell them about the special guest coming and what you're doing next week.
Okay, well, to sum this up to a very basic point, basically this weekend, on Saturday, probably about 10, maybe 9, just depending, we're doing our hour live Halloween special, and we're bringing on a special guest my bandmate, and probably not yours, vocalist Tim Steele of Riffman and Steele.
And Max Allen Steele.
Yep.
The son fill-in drummer.
Yep. It's hard out there for a working musician. Can't find drummers.
Yeah, how many different drummers have you had in the last 8 years?
Like 4, probably. I fired every single one of them.
It's about the problem every major band's gone through, haven't they?
The thing is, when you have a record that made money,
I know, don't have a problem getting a drummer.
in fairness, when you have a name that sells a lot of money, people want to join you.
Yeah, that too.
Well, anyway, but yeah, so we're doing our Halloween special this Saturday. I'm going to say 10, but might be 9. Keep up to date on the Facebook and stuff. And on that note, I've been Edward T. Riffman, Dave the cameraman, and we wish whatever's going on with your family, Andy, that everything works out. Stay classy.
This has been Rifftalk.